Branding, the value of working out purpose. Last week, I mentioned how I'd found my purpose after committing to thinking about it by regularly visiting the question. This took several months. Part of the reason it might have taken so long is that the question was bound up with how I could turn my IP work into something which includes my interests in business and branding. I've always been interested in the commercial side of life, which is why I became an in-house lawyer at Reuters way back. I've been very into marketing, business and branding since founding Azrights too. So dealing purely with IP property work felt like I was only addressing half the issues my clients faced. True, some of them purely need IP legal work. However, even they have teams to educate on IP, and there is currently no solution on the market to enable them to do this effectively and protect their IP on an ongoing basis. So I saw a way to add value to them that is not purely about legal services, namely through the Legally Branded Academy 2.0, which I'll describe. Those that are starting new ventures or growing their businesses would often really benefit if I were more involved, such as with their branding. I can add significant value in areas that are intertwined with intellectual property law. Often a deep understanding of IP is needed, and I've realized that a multidisciplinary approach best serves clients. What I pondered was what I would offer. I didn't see that I would add sufficient value by offering branding, so I gradually worked out that I'd offer value by having an online course and a one-day workshop to begin the process of educating clients. Also, I can provide a process to make it very easy for branding and other business advisors to get multidisciplinary input into their projects. Legally Branded Academy 2.0, gradually over time, that online course that I had been working on for a year or two turned into something quite powerful. It's the first IP system that provides a process approach to IP protection and team training. I've spent years thinking about how companies might best manage IP issues when they don't have a dedicated in-house IP resource, which few have. You see, the very early actions a business takes often have the most significant IP implications from a risk management point of view. It can already be too late once the business turns to its lawyers to protect its IP if there's a deficiency in its past actions. Legally Branded Academy isn't a law course and as such is relevant to international companies. It replaces expensive one-to-one legal advice with processes which embed IP best practice and education. By implementing these processes, a company trains its team members, protects its IP seamlessly. For example, the course includes a copyright process involving the use of a template at the start of projects to secure ownership of IP. As well as basic IP information, there are explanations on issues like IP holding companies and use of IP symbols, including internationally, that companies need to know. There are explanations about what types of name are desirable to choose and why from a trademark perspective. It also covers how to do basic research on a short list of names. Marketing departments, entrepreneurs and design agencies that only occasionally choose names really need access to this sort of information so they can choose wisely. A solid process is provided for them to follow when selecting a new name. The information provides over-the-shoulder style instructions on how to pick the classifications to search, and how to do basic IP register checks. This sort of assessment of a name is vital before handing over to lawyers for final clearance searches and registration. This is most certainly not a course about replacing lawyers or doing your own legal work. It's simply the best way for companies to manage IP risks and opportunities and avoid mistakes. Legally Branded Academy 2.0 is the most cost-effective way to protect companies in the early stages of any project, such as when they're trialing new concepts, starting up new businesses, etc. Following the processes gives the business ongoing day-to-day protection, so they grow on solid foundations using process. They can ensure their teams learn what they need to know about IP and save time by not needing to undo earlier ill-considered actions and decisions. Legally Branded Academy is my online IP flagship course. It's a methodology I've developed to help companies introduce simple processes to ensure their IP is protected on an ongoing basis as the business grows and expands. IP is where the value lies. IP is invariably where the value of a successful business lies, albeit sometimes the IP in some assets may not initially be appreciated. To avoid unpleasant hidden surprises that might, for example, prevent a business exploiting a valuable asset involves introducing simple measures to secure IP in business assets as they're created. So the solution solves a problem that companies might put into place solid foundations to protect their IP day to day. Process is the way to do it. The final point that helped me to arrive at my purpose was down to the changes I'd made to the Azrights business since 2016, when I moved the firm towards remote working. That journey has not been without its difficulties and will probably end up getting physical offices eventually. But remote working has strengthened the firm and given us new approaches which we would never have discovered without making this change. Remote working really is still a controversial and complicated topic, with a lot of people keen to list the cons. I outlined our experience of remote working at Azrights in a recent blog, and will explore the topic more in future posts. Companies like IBM and Yahoo, both big tech companies, have reversed their positions on employees working remotely. What message does it spread to the rest of the business world with regards to this form of working? Although I've had challenges with remote working and recruiting the right team members, for myself personally, my productivity and satisfaction has benefited enormously. I've been able to fall in love with my business once again thanks to remote working, and as mentioned, it's given me the gift of time and the freedom to do the tasks I wanted to do and create new offerings rather than simply managing the office. But I do understand why these large corporations have changed their minds on a practice that they once couldn't get enough of. Not all employees are suited to remote working, so remote working can come at a detrimental cost to business. What is for sure is that you need to work hard at building the sort of culture change that's needed for successful remote working to be effective. Reading David Heinemeier-Hans's book, Remote, it's clear that you need to maintain good communication and ensure that employees have complete clarity as to what is expected from them. It's also desirable to have regular physical and online meetings. Some people even suggest 3 online meetings a week, as well as short 10-minute daily ones. My purpose really is to help businesses to succeed by better positioning themselves in the market and protecting that positioning with IP protection. I want to give businesses greater security to grow, knowing that they've protected their assets and underpinned their business with IP processes to protect their IP. I'm intending to amplify my message by seeking more speaking opportunities, producing more content, and creating more partnerships with other businesses and professionals. I'll be expanding the Azrights business when I personally move my home from London to Hastings next month. The London office will remain our headquarters. However, we will also have a Hastings office, and this is where I intend to recruit team members. Realizing how hard it is to find people who are suited to remote working and who can be trusted to remain productive when working remotely, it remains to be seen how easy it will be to grow the team. Certainly, I'll be looking for local people who can work closely with me. I'm intending to find an admin who might become a trainee solicitor in due course, and also a marketing and sales manager. I'll be trying out some new ideas when I engage new team members, which includes meeting every week, as well as having 2 or 3 online meetings a week to keep everyone accountable and working towards the good of the business. The next step now is to meet as many businesses as possible in Hastings. I would love connections to law firms, accountants, design agencies, business coaches, and others. If you know any who might be interested in attending our launch party, do put them in touch. I'd be most grateful. Thank you.